There is so much beauty in the world when we have eyes to see it, right? It's always there, but like the reading says, where are we putting our attention, right? Is our perspective of everything that is chaotic and falling apart? Or are we choosing to take those moments to remember that there is so much beauty in the world, right? And this time of year and nature, oh, it's so good to get outside and breathe that fresh air and be reminded of that. So today is the 5th Sunday of the month. So this is a bonus. I'm glad you chose to show up on a bonus Sunday. We're wrapping up the topic on the wings of love, where we have explored this month various ideas of love, divine love, love and relationship with one another. And sometimes, like last week, we talked about how that can be a challenge and how to show up even amongst chaos and conflict. And we're going to focus a little bit more today on this idea of embodied love, grounded love that starts with self-love in order to be that love and be the change we wish to see in the world, right? To me, that's what it's all about. I don't know, I'm feeling a little silly today, y'all, if you can't tell. So I want to start by sharing a little bit about this movie that my guess is most of you have not seen. Because when my 9-year-old yesterday says, I want to watch K-pop Demon Hunters, see, you've heard it, you probably might be reacting like me and thinking, what? Demon Hunter, what? And then she starts singing and playing this song that's all like, about golden and shining. I'm like, okay, this sounds interesting. I'll give it a try. And as I watched it, I was like, this movie, it's an animated film that's on Netflix, and it's taking the preteen world by storm, and a few adults. And I was like, this movie, this is my message tomorrow. Like, this is so, I love how art can be such a catalyst for storytelling and hitting themes in life in such a way, in a unique way. So the story tells of a girl group, K-pop girls, who on the surface appear to be like this #1 international music sensation. But they are also living a double life as demon hunters. And their music, as they sing, infuses the world with more love and keeps the demons at bay. Well, the demons whisper, those that have been kind of caught by the main demon or whatever, whisper negative things in their ear constantly, reminding them of how unworthy they are, their worst moments of life, and have control over them because of the shame and the guilt and this negative thinking. And the K-pop girls are singing and bringing joy and light in such a way that the love of their music keeps the demons kind of in this underworld. And what you find out, sorry, slight spoiler alert if you were planning to watch it, but still watch it, you kind of find out near the beginning that the lead singer in this group starts to show markings, and the markings are a sign of being a demon. And you discover that she has a secret that not even her best friends in the girl group, no one else knows, that she is part demon. I think it was her dad that was a demon and her mom that wasn't, and the whole backstory, right? But she has so much shame. She hides her markings and is so, like, they all just want to rest. And she's like, no, we have to keep going, because she knows once they get to a certain point that then the light, so to speak, will take over the dark, and then she won't have these inner demon battles within herself. But as you can imagine, with a few other plot twists and a K-pop boy band that are actually demons that come and rise to the top and are getting more fame and are using, that to get the fans and all of this, that it comes to a point where she has to face that part of herself and learn to embrace that part of herself and not be shameful and let the world know who she is in order for the true transformation to take place. I know, right? Applause. Like these kids' movies these days. What a message. We've come a long way from the prince kissing the sleeping beauty in order to wake her up, haven't we? Thank you. Thank goodness. Thank goddess. All right. So isn't this so true, right? That most of us are fighting some sort of inner battle and are working sometimes day by day, moment by moment, to navigate those inner negative voices and to navigate the shame and the guilt that may come. And yet, what we know is when we truly embrace and love all parts of ourselves, that is when we can be embodied as the oneness, the wholeness, the love that we are. And so, although we're not facing literal demons, I know that most folks are facing inner doubts, right? False stories of ideas of who we thought we were or were told we were in second grade that 70 years later sometimes still pop up. The shame, the places that we want to hide away a certain aspect of our identity or our self-expression. So this is where self-love comes in. And embodied self-love means daring to embrace all that we are, the pretty parts and the messy parts, knowing that we are a divine expression of the one. And it's not about perfection, it's about integration and wholeness. So when we begin to integrate all parts of ourselves and love ourselves, even in those moments of doubt or fear, that is when we can begin to heal from the inside out. And that healing sends ripples into the world, like throwing that stone in the water. So Dr. Ernest Holmes is the founder of the Science of Mind, the teaching that we practice here. And he reminds us that love is the very nature of God, or life, or spirit, universe, whatever word works for you. And because we too are individual expressions of this one life, love is who we are. But here's the catch. We sometimes forget that, right? We might not always believe that we are worthy, we are whole, we are divinely perfect. Not like Instagram perfect, but divinely perfect. We are love. And we often carry wrong perceptions and tell ourselves stories of unworthiness or being broken or not enough. And when we live by those perceptions of ourselves in the world, we begin to shrink back and not engage in life and live to the fullness expression of our authentic being. So embodied self-love means facing the whole river of who we are, the joy, the pain, the brilliance, the flaws. And it means recognizing that spirit is present in our heartbreak as much as it is in our breakthroughs. Yes? Because we are always learning and growing, and everything is an opportunity for a deeper understanding of ourselves in this thing called life. Everything is an opportunity for spiritual growth if we choose to see it that way. And again, not necessarily right away. If something painful or traumatic happens, we don't want to go right to that, well, it's all good. Because that is bypassing the integration step of embodying and sitting with the uncomfortable and moving those feelings through our body so they can be fully expressed, and then we can begin to move as the love and the wholeness that we are. So self-love isn't selfish. It's alignment with the truth of who we are. And it's saying yes to that divine presence within. We are all a microcosm of the macrocosm. We are all an individual expression, our lives reflecting the grandness of Spirit's vast expression. Every thought, every word, every action is a stone dropped in that water of our collective consciousness, and it creates ripples, touching our friends and our families and our communities in our world. When we live from fear or shame or doubt, self-rejection, bitterness, those ripples carry suffering and pain outwards. But when we choose to move into a place of deep self-love and honoring all of who we are, and then when we take mindful, intentional actions and words and deeds, we create that love that ripples and carries forth that healing. We can't separate ourselves from the world or one another. Our existence is intertwined with all. So therefore, what we buy, where we shop, how we vote, what we say and post on social media, how we speak to a stranger or a beloved, it all matters. What we say to ourselves. As A Course in Miracles reminds us, there are no private thoughts. It all matters. And we impact life simply by being alive. So this is both a responsibility and a gift, right? Because my life influences the whole. So by cultivating the practice of embodying the love of the divine that I am, we get to actively contribute to a more loving world. When we look out there and see all the things that are wrong and all the people that need to change, and don't at the same time look within as what is mine to do, be, and become, we will always be frustrated because our true work and transformation happens right here. And then from doing that healing work, we can move into inspired action from the inside out instead of the outside in. And sometimes, things on the outside may call us in, and that is a worthy journey as well, if we are willing to do that self-love work and not just react to things, but take responsibility by being willing to respond from that intentional place of love. When we create from that aligned place of wholeness, then the effects will be a beneficial ripple for all of life. Holmes puts it beautifully when he says, love points the way, law makes the way possible. So love, the divine love, the essence of who we are, is always guiding us, that inner compass, towards the next right best thing and way to be and show up in this world. And then law is that aspect of the universal spiritual law that is always saying yes, right? It's that spiritual principle that's constant. It just responds to our energy and intention. So as love points the way, then law makes it happen. Law takes the impress of our thoughts and our consciousness and then brings them into form. So the question becomes, what will be the guiding force in your life? If by default, by unconsciousness, by walking in the world in a sleepy lull, we allow the fear and the doubt and the jealousy and the contempt to guide us, the law is constant. It will say yes, and it will respond to that cause. Yet, perfectly pairing love and law, when we allow love to guide the way, the law will work just as powerfully, creating the healing and the abundance and the joy and the freedom that we all desire. So self-love is how we ensure that the love compass is pointing the way. When love points the way, the law unfolds a path of possibility, of new beginnings, of things that we perhaps in our conscious mind would have never thought possible. And the cool thing is that's not just for us. As we move in that direction of that inner guidance, of that highest pathway, of that divine highest possibility timeline of our experience, it also creates a ripple effect for the world. So I just want to be clear, though, that self-love doesn't mean ignoring the suffering or the pain of ourselves or others in the world. In fact, awareness of that is an essential part of the journey. Being aware of the pain and suffering within ourselves and others doesn't create more suffering. It creates the possibility of transformation. Do you get that? I hear so many people in New Thought circles that this is the part, the nuance that sometimes gets misunderstood because we think, well, I don't even want to see that or know about that because I don't want to create more of that. Whether it be within ourselves or within another in our beloved community or our world. And it's not that if we look at that, it's going to create more of that. It's like the crying baby who you can say, I don't even want to hear the baby crying. I'm going to focus on my giggling, happy baby. The baby is going to cry until it gets a little love and attention. So we can move on our life and thinking, no, I just happy baby, and we're carrying around a screaming, crying baby for hours and days when all it needs is just a little love and attention. Turning to it with a loving heart, not getting sucked into the energy of the pain and suffering, but maintaining our high vibration and looking at it with compassion and love creates the opportunity for, yes, I see you, like the beloved mantras that Thich Nhat Hanh in this book of the month that we talked about a couple weeks ago, that those mantras help train us to see rightly, that loving kindness, to may there be love and peace. May I experience love and peace. May you experience love and peace, and so on. So, as we acknowledge the pain and the suffering, not as a mindset, not as a huge consciousness that we want to live in, but from a place of observing, not absorbed into it, but observing, we can meet someone where they are in that pain and suffering and provide that bridge to remember the truth and to provide that pathway of healing and transformation. Because I don't know about you all, but I know for me, when I'm in a place of deep pain and suffering, some trite saying about it's all good, or, you know, God won't give you anything you can't handle, these kind of things feel very dismissive and don't help me at all. Yet someone just sitting there and really not saying anything, but just being a presence for me to move through that, and then moving the energy into the possibility of love and healing in divine right timing. That creates the opening and the love. So suffering shows us where healing is needed. As Dr. Michael Beckwith often says, look at the news as a prayer request, right? And these days, y'all, we are inundated with the news. So I do recommend mindfully pacing yourself with the content that is, curate the content that is coming into your world. And be willing to hear and see the news as a prayer request if you are in that space, to be the love and hold the highest possibility for that. Suffering shows us where healing is needed, and when we meet it with love, we align with Spirit's infinite capacity to restore, renew, and liberate. Love is the answer, because love is the healing power to transform. So here's the invitation I leave you with today. What would it look like for you to embody love for yourself, to embrace those inner demons in a way that then also blesses the world? What would it look like to embody love for yourself in a way that also blesses the world? World peace. And world peace starts with inner peace and how we walk in the world. So maybe it means finally speaking your truth after years of silence. Maybe it means forgiving yourself so that compassion can flow more freely through you to others. Maybe it means resting, trusting that your worth is not measured by productivity. I feel a whole other talk on this. I'm just going to say one quick thing. But for those of you who are paying attention to the technological revolution that is occurring at rapid speed in the world of AI, it's creating an opportunity where we could lean into it from a conscious place that humans don't have to work as much. And when we come with the consciousness that we are worthy, no matter what we do, just for being, that can be a gift to allow the tools of AI technology to do our work like that, which took forever and ever and ever before. And it could be very scary for the consciousness of people who believe that I'm only good if I produce something or create something or make a certain amount of money or do this and that and the other in this world. See, this is the hamster wheel right here, the rat race. So for those who are so tied to their work and productivity as their worth, this AI revolution is shaking all that up, and it's going to in the next 5 years in ways that we can't even begin to understand. So that's why I think now more than ever, I'm going to keep drilling in this idea that you are worthy just as you are. Laying outside in the grass, staring at the sun, chasing butterflies, you are worthy. And that is important. Yeah, what was that? And smarter. In what way? Yes, so they were just addressing the fear of AI taking over. And we get to choose as a consciousness, if we choose to engage in this realm, to have AI do the things that maybe are those mundane tasks. But not only are humans smarter, I would also say humans have the ability to love and be compassionate and to experience joy and bliss and all of these things. So I think it's really interesting just to start looking at what is being a human mean. So anyway, that's another talk. But an invitation perhaps to rest more and to shift this narrative of you're only worthy if you produce, because I think that's going to be coming up really big in the next few years. So we can start doing that work now so we're not caught off guard. So beloveds, as I wrap this up, imagine yourself as that stone dropped in the still waters. And your embodied love, that self-love, creates the ripples of healing and extends that further and further out beyond what you can even see. So I invite you just to practice this a moment with me, placing your hands over your heart, closing your eyes if that's comfortable, take a deep breath. And silently affirm with me, I am whole. I am love. I am part of the one life. And my love creates ripples of healing in this world. And so it is. Yes. Let's take it into prayer. So just staying in this space of oneness, of love, as I know and recognize the one life that is the infinite source of all, that is love, that is peace, that is wholeness, that is freedom, that is creativity. I know that this is who I am. This one life is the divine expression because there is only one life, one thing, expressing as me, as you, as all who hear the sound of my voice. So I breathe into this now, knowing that I am whole. I am love. I am here to be and express that divine love through me in a way that only I can, because I am a unique divine creation of the one. So I take this moment to remember this truth and to know that all parts of me are blessed and holy, to love those things that we perhaps have felt like we had to hide away. And knowing that as we fully integrate all that we are and allow this divine love to express through us, that we are always creating ripples into this world, being that change that we wish to see, being the love, being the freedom, being the creativity, being the joy, claiming and knowing that this is our birthright. So I'm so grateful to affirm and to see and to know that change is happening now, that transformation is happening now, that a healing is happening now as we open to embody and ground in this deep presence of love as ourselves. So grateful to know that love is always the answer. So grateful to know that this word is made manifest as I release it now into the law that always says, yes, my beloved, it is so. And together we say, and so it is. Yes.